Hi there from a place just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. I am at a retreat right now with the Finding Balance people, and it has been an amazing retreat. We still have another night, and tomorrow morning we depart, and we've been here since Thursday night. So anyway, I'm feeling rather refreshed, but I wanted to take a moment to try to make a video to preview this week's lesson, lesson 3, just previewing it, highlight a few things that I hope you'll catch as you go into this week's lesson. I have my notes here because I don't want to miss anything. Anyway, so this is a preview of the personal study in Healthy Eating, Abundant Eating, lesson 3. The authors bring out a really good point. We have a hunger inside of us that longs to be satisfied. We crave something to satisfy that hunger. Each one of us knows that fact is true. And they call it love hunger in the book. The question is, how will we choose to try to satisfy or respond to this love hunger? And this week we look at the story of the woman at the well in John chapter 4. And I just ask you, please, even if you have to get out an unfamiliar Bible translation to do it, ask God to show you a fresh look at this very familiar story. I found that when I opened to a new translation and spent some time asking God to prepare my heart for what He had for me in this particular story, at this particular time of my life, He definitely met me there in a very new way, kind of like He met the woman at the well. He cares about each one intimately, personally, and right now He cares about where you are in your walk with Him. He wants to meet you in that story, I believe. And I am so tempted to preempt your study this week in the book, but I'm not going to. I'm going to resist the urge. He's got something special for you in John chapter 4. I love the quote from Judy's other book, quoted on page 50, and I don't want you to miss it. If we will be still and let God address our silent hunger, He will graciously show us that He never meant for us to find the fulfillment of our self-worth apart from Him. This undeniable, unavoidable longing for a sense of value is a sanctified hunger placed in us by God's design, but we will never experience inner peace until we face the truth that nothing of this world, our appearance, our performance, others' opinions of us, or our past experience can fulfill our longing for security and significance. The material you're going to cover this week is a bit more intimate than the material in previous weeks, and I know maybe that minimizes where God has taken you in the last couple of weeks. I apologize if so, because I know some of you have found God personally taking you to pretty deep places, so maybe that's not the case for you this week, but for others of us, it definitely is. We are asked questions like, what is your heart hungry for? How has your need for security and significance not been met? How have you responded to this loss? These are hard questions, I'm sure. And another question, how have you relied on food or a lack of food? And I would add, how have you relied upon your appearance, the hope of getting thin or perfection to comfort you? These are challenging questions that the authors take us to this week, and I hope you will invite God to help you answer openly to Him and His Spirit. Our heartaches are no small matter to Jesus. We've got a lot of work going on out here in the forest, I guess. Anyway, God wants us to bring our heartaches to Him. There's just no two ways about it. He knows about them, and we can not flee from His presence. We can't flee from His Spirit. So let's turn to Him instead of running and bring them to Him. John 8:32 establishes a principle for us, and Jesus is speaking of His teaching when He says, then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. But that principle that we can pull from that is the truth sets us free. When we know the truth, when we face into the truth, we can be set free. That's a principle that's there. And conversely, I believe that if we will not face the truth, if we turn and run from it or hide from it or try to numb ourselves to it, freedom is a little more elusive. And so we want to be open to the truth that God wants to show us. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Show me what is in me. So no more running if you found yourself running. Let's let God's big T truth trump our little t truth. I think I got that from a Beth Moore Bible study. Referring again then to Psalm 139, and I've already mentioned this verse 23 to 24, we invite God to search our hearts and to know us and show us what is there that He may want to bring to the forefront, that He may want us to confess, to heal what's broken in our hearts. On page 52 and 53, there is a challenging but deep discussion, and I want to encourage you to let God use this to begin to probe you and heal you. Speaking of idolatry, idolizing the ideal body and what people think, that is something that may be in your heart that you want to invite God to search you and know you and show you what's there. Hatred, disliking yourself, or resenting people who are beautiful in your opinion, that might be something He wants you to cope with, deal with, bring to Him. Not with condemnation on His end. He's not condemning you. He doesn't want you to condemn yourself. Envy. This is a tough one too. Coveting what others have while failing to see the beauty that God says is in me. I had an amazing experience today being in a session all day. Mandisa was there, and there were other people there, a lady from Zoe Girl was there, and a lady who was 2008 Miss America. It was amazing to hear what these wonderful women of God had to say about the media and the impact of the media on their perception of themselves. And the only way to break free is what we've been talking about here, the renewing of our minds through spending time with our God and His Word, letting it bathe our minds, being transformed by that renewing of our minds. The authors then move on to a discussion about 3 types of hunger. And you may have heard this discussion before, or it may be something you're aware of. There is head hunger, there is heart hunger, and there is stomach hunger. I want you to spend some time getting to know the difference, the way the authors describe them, and then ask God to show you the recognizable signs of each kind of hunger for you. When is it head hunger and needing to be met in the ways that head hunger needs to be met? When is it heart hunger and needing to be met in the way that heart hunger needs to be met? And when is it stomach hunger needing to be met in the way that stomach hunger needs to be met? Any of these hungers, the head hunger, heart hunger, and stomach hunger, can lead us to grab for food, but only one of them is a legitimate call for food, and I know you know that. So investigate that a little bit and see if you can begin to put your finger on when are you most likely to experience head hunger and heart hunger that lures you to food outside of physical hunger, and what can you do to be proactive to meet that need in a legitimate way. In page 58, then, I love this, we have what's called the super practical steps of healthy eating. Super practical steps. And I want to just encourage you, read that really carefully. It's similar to Judy's Keys to Conscious Eating. And then maybe you'll want to memorize 1 Corinthians 6, verses 12 and 13, which is what our personal lesson ends with this week. I really trust and hope that as you spend time with the Lord in this material this week, that you will find His presence so sweet and so refreshing and so healing. But invite Him to show you what the truth is. That's the most important piece of it, His presence. And as you invite Him to probe and heal, and you honestly face your truth, He will show you big T truth and show you that He can heal those many painful experiences that you've had that have led you to the place where you are now, and He will redeem it. That is the most awesome thing about our God. He redeems it. I love that about Him. Anyway, in case it isn't clear, the assignment will be below this video. Have a great week.